Hello, Calaveras County, and welcome to another edition of Mondo, Calaveras. I'm your host, Mike Taylor. Now you're asking, why on earth is Mike standing up? Although you can't quite tell I'm standing up. Well, I'll tell you. Because we're doing something different today. My guest is Dale Baker. Dale, welcome.
Thank you.
And you are going to cook tacos, but in a way that probably nobody here has ever heard about.
Probably nobody here has ever heard about, yeah.
So what are we doing?
Well, first of all, we're going to make a salad.
Okay.
Now, normally you would take the greens and salad and stuff and you'd put them in the taco, right? We're not going to do that.
Okay.
We're going to cook the tacos in a little different way, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
First of all, let's take our lettuce, and we're going to tear it up. You can help.
Just want everything torn up like we're making a regular old salad.
Like we're making a regular old salad.
Well, I'm glad you're one of those who knows that with romaine lettuce, that darn stem does not belong in the salad. I'll give my mom credit for that. She spoiled me rotten because, boy, our salads, we never had that bitter romaine stem in there.
I kind of like it a little bit because it's crunchy, and I like crunchy stuff.
It does have some good crunch to it, and I guess it depends on whether or not you happen to catch a stem that's got that really bitter bite to it.
Yeah.
Because I've been known at restaurants to pull that right out of my plate.
Really?
Yeah, and then they look at me funny because there's all this lettuce left on the plate in their eyes.
Now, Jenny is good about getting rid of that stem. So
oh, yes.
She's a great cook.
So this way of making tacos, you were telling me just before we started here, you were raised in Arizona?
I was raised in Arizona.
Okay.
But my father, when I was about 4 or 5 years old, decided to join the Border Patrol.
Oh, okay.
So he became a Border Patrolman, and the school was in Texas.
Okay.
So we moved to Texas, and while he was there, he made friends with a lot of people. He loved the Spanish people, just loved them. And
Mexican people.
Well, Mexican people, yeah, whatever.
I know.
And one of them taught him how to make these tacos.
Wow. Okay.
And I've been making them this way since a long time.
Since you started making tacos. Yeah. Okay.
Now, when I was younger, we couldn't buy salsa.
Oh, sure.
We had to make our own.
Yeah. So you got the really good recipes.
Yeah. Well, my dad had a pepper bush in the front yard, right by the front door.
Yeah.
And they were called Christmas peppers, and they were only about that big.
Oh, yeah.
And they were green and red and yellow and all kinds of different colors. That's why they call them Christmas peppers. And I decided I'll use those in the taco sauce. So I put 6 of them. Six.
Okay.
Put 6 of them in there. My dad couldn't eat it.
Oh, man.
That was the hottest stuff I had.
Too hot, huh?
And Dad could eat anything.
Really? So it's that kind of pepper that you sort of wave over just to give it essence.
And then one day there was this Mexican lady that came to the house, and she saw that plant. She said, "Oh, Christmas peppers. Can I have some?" Dad said, "Help yourself."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's usually it. Yeah, I'm a thorough gringo when it comes to peppers. I'm not even really all that fond of their flavor, but it depends on how you're using them, whether or not. Okay, now you're taking the raw ground beef and just putting it onto the tortilla.
Yep, putting it right on the tortilla. Yep. It's a different, because of the contact with the meat and the tortilla, they kind of share their flavors.
Okay.
And it makes it a completely different taste than you would normally have. And the only spice I put on them is garlic salt.
A little garlic salt. Okay.
That's it. No.
I'll be darned.
Now, it's very important that you start out correctly.
Okay.
If you just throw it in there or turn it over, it will break along the seam.
Oh, okay. Right along that line that the meat created.
So you put it in there and you let it cook for 5-10 seconds, whatever.
Okay, I see.
And it'll soften that crease, and then you can just
And then you just
Turn it on.
make a taco that way. I'll be darned. Yeah. Now, how hot is the oil?
Right now I have it about 300 degrees. It may be a little, we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
But somewhere between 300 and 350.
Okay, and what kind of oil are you using?
Now, see, that's another problem.
Probably depends on who you talk to, which kind you're supposed to use.
Exactly. and I'm a traditionalist, I guess you might say. I don't use modern oils at all.
Okay.
They're not
so
even in my house.
that's regular old vegetable oil?
Nope, that's regular old cow fat or pig fat.
Manteca? No.
Yep.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Truly. Okay. Now, yeah. See, I didn't realize we were doing it truly old school. That's great.
Now, if you
That's
ask
a flavor thing.
Exactly.
Well, it's, as a former meat
Exactly.
cutter, I can tell you that fat on a steak, on beef, means flavor. And so, ladies and gentlemen, when you're at the meat counter, and if you're looking at a piece of styrofoam, I'm sorry, because you really do need to use a meat counter that lets you actually talk to the butcher and figure out what's going on with that piece of meat. But you want that marbling because the marbling means the meat is going to have flavor and it means it's going to be more tender. So there's your meat tip for the day.
Well,
And we're using, what, a ground chuck here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah, because you don't want it too lean or it'll just fall apart inside.
I won't eat regular hamburger.
You are my kind of cook.
I only do ground chuck.
Perfect.
That's all I eat. But anyway, I was talking to CJ at
Angel's Market?
Angel's Market today. And he wanted to know how I cooked them, and I think he's going to have them tonight too. he was intrigued. But anyway, with normal modern oils, they say there's no cholesterol.
Yeah.
Okay, your body can't exist without cholesterol.
Yeah. Yeah.
It produces the sheath around your nerves is made of cholesterol. Your body is our skin.
Yeah, it's basically our lubrication.
Yeah, it's very important, and I'm not sure how much I believe the.
Well, I'm also convinced that in some language that I just haven't been turned on to yet, that cholesterol means tastes really good. So.
We do think a lot alike, Mike.
Yeah, we do. We do, Dale.
Yep, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
So now, while these are cooking, are you cooking them to the point where we end up with a crunchy taco shell?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it's very important that you get that crunchy.
Otherwise,
taco
they end
shell.
up being kind of fatty.
Well, not
oily?
just fatty, but they don't. It's a little cool. I think I'm going to turn it up
a little
about
bit.
325. The crunch is, to me, crunch is everything.
Yeah.
You can have the soft, and that's cool for But I love crunch, and so this is where I'm going to put them after they're cooked.
Okay, that lets the oil.
It's not it's not a covered dish.
No.
Okay. So that way they'll keep their crunch.
Well, this could be a fun meal for kind of a dinner party because it's almost a little bit like fondue.
Yep, kind of like it is.
I mean, you put out all the goodies, and we make the salad that ends up going with our tacos. That's pretty cool.
Another thing about it is that because you're eating the salad, you can eat as much or little salad and as much or little taco as you want.
Yep.
So depending on how you feel about vegetables, I've had several times people have actually eaten a dozen of them.
Oh my gosh!
I can't even imagine eating a dozen of them.
Yeah, that's a meal. I've been known to. Well, as I've gotten older, I've eaten less because I can remember as a kid wheeling into the local pizza factory and walking out with a large or an extra large, and that was dinner.
Yep.
So
now it's 2 dinners.
Now it's 2 or 3 dinners. That's right. That's right.
Yep. You couldn't tell though.
No, I know.
Fortunately,
I'm using it as 5 dinners now. Trying to anyway.
Yeah. Now it's almost, but not quite.
And do you flip them over
Yes.
at any point? Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's very important that you do that.
You do a both sides kind of thing.
If you don't cook them on both sides, one side's mushy and
I see. Okay.
no crunch.
That makes sense because you've got them laying in the oil just like that. So.
Yep. So what kind of tacos are you used to?
Probably what, just about everybody else is. Usually you just take the cold tortilla and throw the meat and your goodies on there, and usually I don't even bother to heat up the tortillas. I will tell you, though, since we're talking about our childhoods, though, right out of high school, I moved to Phoenix for a while, and there was a little place just off of 9th Avenue called Alcantar's Deli. It wasn't a delicatessen. I don't know why that was up there. I had a feeling it was a leftover from a sign, but it was a little teeny tiny old gas station with a little island out there that was not used at all. And all that was inside the actual gas station was the woman who took your order, who knew just enough English to get your order out of you, and turn around and yell to the guy who was cooking, who was a machine. This guy, it was amazing. Because from about 12 to 2 on any given weekday, I knew it was good food because 8 or 10 pickups full of construction workers pull in, and this place could crank out all that food while these people are waiting. Because all everybody did was hang out in the back of their truck and eat their lunch. And they made the best tacos. I mean, the good lard, the good tortillas. They made their own tortillas. Their quesadilla started with a tortilla that had to be 18 inches
and
in
really
diameter.
thin, and it was kind of a little on the tough side, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep.
And but for their tacos, where I got spoiled with them was they shredded beef. They cooked up chuck roast.
Yep.
And that to me is your primo taco filling.
Well, when I was a kid, we used to go to the drive-in theaters in Yuma, and they always had those little rolled tacos, with the shredded beef in them. Those were really
good stuff.
Have you ever seen a tortilla factory?
Not where people are actually doing the work. There's a chain restaurant down in the Bay Area that I happened into many years ago. They had a machine that did it that was fascinating to watch, especially as a kid of, erector sets and tinker toys.
In Yuma, there was a tortilla factory, and we'd go get our tortillas right off.
Oh, man.
Right off. And they had
really good stuff.
Yeah, really. They had a conveyor belt, and the tortillas would come out of that on that belt, and they would plop and make a little pile.
Yeah.
And they would grab the pile and wrap it up, give it to us, and we'd take it home. And it was a lot better. But
it's probably good I didn't grow up there, because I'd just show up with a stick of butter and, ready for my daily dose of tortillas.
Stick of butter?
Oh, yeah. I like a good buttered tortilla once in a while.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, see, I'm also very gringo in that I tend to prefer flour tortillas, but I like them when corn tortillas are done right, they come out just fine. So, yeah.
These, you'll like these.
They're smelling fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's amazing for having relatively little seasoning in there that they're doing their thing. And
the way I kind of equate them is that they're kind of like a Mexican hamburger.
Yeah.
Instead of a bun, you've got,
You've got a tortilla, sure.
And the other thing is that the tortilla is cooked in the juices of the
so you really are getting that marriage of the flavors. Because boy, that is really what is smelling good, is those flavors coming together.
Yep. And that is the biggest pan I've ever seen in my whole life.
What do you usually do at home with it? Just a pot on the stove?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so do you then, so as you're making dinner, say for 2, do you just cook up like 4 or 5 of them and then serve, or do you kind of hang out in the kitchen and eat them as they're cooking?
No,
or?
that's where this comes in handy.
Okay.
You want to drain the grease off of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, you don't want to
So
grease
they need
taco.
so they need to set for a moment.
And they do need to cool down a little bit, otherwise you get a burned tongue.
You're going to melt yourself. Yep.
All right.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah. So what I do is I just put them in there and let them drain, and I put a paper towel over the top of them. Mm-hmm. And do everything else.
Yep.
Now, there's one thing that we don't have today that I wish we did. When I was growing up, we had 2 gigantic lemon trees in the backyard.
Oh.
Huge lemon trees in the backyard. You could see them from the front yard.
Wow.
And so we had lemons all year round.
Really?
And I learned to eat tacos with lemonade.
With lemonade. I'll be darned.
Now, a lot of people think that if you're eating something hot, you drink milk, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing?
Yeah. No.
Lemonade.
Citrus in the lemonade did the trick, huh?
The lemons are a grease cutter. Isn't that what they put in the cleaners?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the hot stuff? It's
an
oil based.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
And so if you drink lemonade, it'll cut it.
I'll be
Like that.
darned.
It's like that.
Never would have thought about it.
Yeah, nobody does. Unless you have 2 lemon
Until you're
trees in
making
your
tacos
backyard.
of Dale.
Okay, now that's just about
Yep.
right. It's
Getting crunchy.
yeah.
The meat holds together.
Meat holds together,
Nice.
and I just put them. You notice I put them in here with the tip down,
Yeah, that
so that the grease will
drain
come
out too.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
that was the thing at Alcantar's Deli, is that shredded beef had a little bit of fat quotient to itself.
Uh-huh.
And boy, the bottoms of those tacos would get greasy.
Yeah.
It was manna from heaven.
Yes, I know. Fat does have its good side,
Pluses,
doesn't
that's
it? Yeah.
right. Boy, those just smell fantastic.
Thank you.
They really do.
If I was only one food that I could eat for the rest of my life,
That'd be it, huh?
this would be it. And you think about it, the only thing it does is it splatters.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you got your vegetables. You can
Got some greens.
you can put whatever you want in there. You know, whatever you like. When I was a kid, we used to put onions and tomatoes and all kinds of stuff. But
yeah.
I
Well,
cut.
you can build it just like any old taco, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. My mom did that way. It pops. Yes.
Yeah.
What I should have done is make a couple ahead. Now, there's another thing. You can't make them too far ahead because the tortillas dry out.
Oh, that's true too.
They dry out very
they do.
quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And once they dry out, they don't cook very well.
They don't. No, they don't.
If I'd had a couple made ahead, then I could have taken one out and replaced it, and it would keep the oil a little cooler, and it wouldn't pop so much.
Yeah, that's true.
No cheating.
I know. I just took a look. It's draining.
Do whatever you want.
It needs a moment. I can see that.
Yep, it does. It needs a
Actually,
few
I can
moments.
Tell too what it might benefit from is a little pattern. You're right. Some of the oil does stay with it.
It does.
But it's draining off in there.
The 2 people that I've ever met that made them this way, one of them is here in San Andreas, actually.
Oh wow!
She's a teller at Treats.
I'll be darned.
And we were talking about it one day, and come to find out she does it this way too. The other one, which is where I found out where my dad had learned how to make tacos. I used to be a programmer in my former life, and we were at a users conference, and there was some people there from Texas that owned a credit union down in Texas. And I was talking to his wife, the lady, and I asked her how she made tacos, and she described this method.
I'll be darned.
And I said, "Well, wait a minute, I've never heard anybody that did it that way before." And she said, "Well, that's because you learned to make them in South Texas." So
Yeah, so this is something that, no, you're not going to want the little kids helping you with, but I could see this as a dinner party, or even, to be honest with you, the Super Bowl party.
yep.
And like I said, I could see it as almost kind of a version of fondue. When you decide you're hungry, you throw your taco in the vat and get it going. That's just great.
And it takes, what, 5 minutes for the grease to heat up, right? Mm-hmm. And it takes maybe 10 minutes to make a batch.
Per each one, yeah. And they come out of there molten hot, folks, because this one that I took out is nice and hot. And yeah, I was going to cheat and take a quick bite, but that didn't happen.
No, I tried to warn you. But you can be eating in 20 minutes.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And so you come
and
home
there's really not a whole heck of a lot of prep time either.
No, and there's not a lot of cleanup time
your
either.
Cheese is shredded for you. And
Yep.
that's what the kids can do. They can tear up the salad.
There you go. That's right. Or they can make the taco sauce.
That's right.
That's what I did when I was a kid. But
yeah.
And it is a lot better. I hate to tell you.
Oh,
it's
I mean, there are some pretty decent jar salsas out there, but you're right. When, that's one thing I think we're lucky with here in the Mother Lode. We've got quite a few, and it's become so in vogue now anyway, but a lot of food trucks.
Yep.
And, here in San Andreas.
They call them roach coaches.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, they used to, and now we're all just going with the flow and calling it the taco truck. That's I don't think anyone remembers the actual name,
I do.
I just know that it's Francisco, and his family has got three of those trucks, and they do a fantastic job.
I went to Port of Los Angeles once. I was driving a truck, and there was a roach coach. I'm going to call him roach coach.
Oh, I don't blame you. It is.
What I know.
I know.
There was a roach coach that had this big sign that says green chili burritos. Well, at the time I was living in the Midwest, and you can't get green chili out there. So I ran as fast as I could over there and bought 2 of them. And I came back to the truck and I took a bite, and they had a layer of jalapeno peppers.
Oh my God.
That thick in the bottom of them. And I like to die. Now, understand that there's not much. I've only had 2 dishes in my whole life that I couldn't eat. And I ate both of those burritos. Boy, did I sweat.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Sweat going everywhere.
That's what I say. The heat, once in a while I'll go for some hot like that. But it's actually, honestly, I seem to prefer it more with sushi.
Oh, well, yeah. Sushi's really hot.
Having some of that hot, that stuff. Oh my gosh, the name fell right out of my head.
And sometimes...
No, I'm just gonna.
Go for it. Different, huh?
It's really good.
Thank you.
It was the heat. They're still warm.
Yeah, they're still hot. They're not warm.
The heat that I was adjusting to, but boy, that flavor is just fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And I can see just put a little bit of cheese in there.
Now, like I said, I make a salad on the plate. I put the salad on one side of the plate, and I just eat them that way. That way you can control how much vegetables you're eating.
Yeah.
If you like a lot of vegetables, eat a lot of vegetables.
I went for the drive-through version here.
The drive-through version? That's my mother's version. That's the way she ate them.
Yeah, some cheese and some lettuce.
Yeah. And my kids won't eat the salad. They only will eat the taco.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The last time I was at my son's and we were making tacos, what he did is he went to Costco and got burgers, Okay,
Hamburger patties?
Hamburger patty thing. And then he would cut them in half.
Oh my gosh, I can see doing that. Yeah.
And then he would just lay half of it on it and throw it in there.
That makes sense.
And when we got done, there was grease everywhere.
I bet. Yeah, it's not necessarily neater.
Yeah, there was. I don't know how many we made. It was a lot.
Well, and that's it too. It's a relatively economical meal. Ground chuck isn't too steep. Tortillas are very inexpensive, if you ask me.
Yep.
And that's really something. So you get some greens and, yep, perfect. So when are you opening up your truck?
I've been asked that.
I can see why, because that's good. And if you specialize, just do that. Now, now that I taste this, have you ever tried to do it with something else? I know it would be much more complicated to do it with chicken, but have you ever toyed with that idea?
Yeah.
Even experimented with it, or?
I'm a purist.
I don't blame you, because this is darn good.
People talk to me about fish tacos and chicken tacos and all that. And I've had chicken tacos, and they're all right.
They're okay.
But
you
they're
want the
not
beef.
those.
That's right. You want the beef when you're eating the taco.
When you were raised on those, it's hard to.
Yep. I can see
Yep.
that. It's something, and one of those things that. Well, when was the first time you had them made like this?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just that's always how you had tacos.
I was too young.
That's great. Well, that's perfect. That's how those kinds of family traditions get born. And now you're sharing it with folks here in Calaveras County who can make tacos that, trust me, they taste really good. I haven't chowed this thing down because it's still pretty hot. I'll give them credit for that. They really hold the heat.
One thing that when I was a kid, we had these at least once a week. Okay, and they're like I said, if there was only one food that I had to eat the rest of my life, it would be
this. Would work. This would work for me too, Dale. Folks, we are getting down to the end of it, and we said so when we started here that Mondo Calaveras was going to be a little bit of everything, and
this is a little bit of everything.
This is a lot of everything, but it's really good. We're going to chow down here in the studio, and I'll try not to be too fat next time I see you folks. But meantime, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy some tacos. I'm Mike Taylor. Join me next time for Mondo Calaveras. In the meantime, enjoy.